Have you ever paused mid-sentence and thought, why did I just say that? As we grow older, our words carry even more meaning, not just to others, but to ourselves. Sometimes, without even realizing it, the things we say can quietly chip away at our confidence, limit our joy, or reflect beliefs we no longer need to hold on to. If you're a woman over 70, this video is for you. We're going to gently uncover 12 words and phrases that may be sneaking into your daily conversations and holding you back more than you know. Some may surprise you. One in particular might be something you say every single day without realizing its quiet power. So stay with me. This isn't about being correct. It's about being kinder to yourself. Let's explore the words worth leaving behind and discover the strength that comes from speaking with intention. Number 1, just. There's a small word many of us use without thinking, a word so common it slips into our sentences unnoticed. That word is just. I just wanted to ask. I'm just saying. I just thought maybe. Have you caught yourself using it lately? At first glance, it seems harmless, humble even. But underneath, it quietly chips away at your confidence. It tells the world, and worse, it tells yourself that you're apologizing for your presence. That your thoughts, your experiences, your voice need to be softened, diluted, explained away. But here's the truth. You have lived through too much to downplay your voice now. You've walked through loss and laughter, raised families, built careers, held your ground during times of change. You've earned every wrinkle, every silver strand, and every story etched into your memory. Why silence that with a word that shrinks you? Next time, try this. Instead of, I just wanted to check in, say, I wanted to check in. Instead of, I'm just offering my thoughts, say, here's what I believe. It might feel bold at first, but that's okay. Bold is beautiful. With every sentence you speak without just, you reclaim space. You remind yourself and everyone listening that your wisdom matters, and you don't need to tiptoe around it. Try it today. Watch how people begin to lean in when you speak, how they listen more closely. More importantly, notice how you feel when you speak with clarity, with assurance, without apology. Because you're not just anything. You are a woman with presence, with power, with a voice that deserves to be heard, clearly and completely. Number 2, old. There's a word that slips into our conversations far too easily. Old. We hear it, we say it, and before we realize it, we've begun to wear it like a label. I'm too old for that. You know how it is when you're old. Or, I'm just an old woman. But let's pause for a moment. Are you really just old? No. You are a lifetime of stories. A woman who has weathered storms and danced in the sunshine. Someone who has known love, loss, laughter, and growth. Calling yourself old can feel like you're putting a full stop at the end of your story. But your story isn't finished, not even close. The truth is, age isn't something to hide from. It's something to honor. But there's a difference between acknowledging your years and letting them define you. Saying I'm too old places invisible limits around your spirit. Instead, try saying, I've lived long enough to know what matters. Doesn't that feel more true? More powerful? Instead of, I can't do that, I'm old. What about, I'm learning new ways to enjoy life as I am now? Language isn't just how we speak to others, it's how we speak to ourselves. And what we say becomes what we believe. So let's retire the word old when it's used to shrink us. You're not just a number, you're a force, a story in motion. You are wise, seasoned, radiant, and entirely ageless. The next time you catch that word creeping in, gently replace it. Because the world doesn't need another old lady. It needs you, bold, beautiful, and still becoming. Number 3, sorry. Apologizing when you've truly done something wrong, that's grace, that's strength. But too often, especially for women, the word sorry slips into conversations where it has no business being. Not because we're wrong, but because we've been taught to soften our presence. Sorry to bother you. I'm sorry, but may I ask a question? Sorry, I don't know how to do that. Sound familiar? For women like Joan, 74, this habit took root years ago. She spent a lifetime putting others first, smoothing over tension, making space for everyone but herself. One day, after overhearing herself apologize twice in a single sentence, once for asking a question, and again for not knowing the answer, something clicked. Why was she apologizing for existing? When we say sorry too often, we're not just using a word, we're shrinking ourselves. We're apologizing for taking up space, for needing help, for being visible. But here's a gentle reminder. You don't have to be sorry for living your life. Try this instead. Instead of, sorry I'm late, say, thank you for waiting. It turns a moment of guilt into one of gratitude. Or replace sorry to interrupt with, excuse me, I'd like to add something. Suddenly, your voice becomes part of the conversation, not a disruption to it. Even when you don't know something, you can choose empowerment over apology. That's something I'd love to learn sounds a lot more confident than, sorry, I don't know. Releasing the habit of over-apologizing won't happen overnight, but every time you replace sorry with clarity, presence, or gratitude, you're not only lifting your own spirit, you're reminding the world that your words, your presence, and your wisdom deserve to be heard. Number 4, can't. There's a word that seems small but carries the weight of 1,000 closed doors. Can't. And oh, how quietly it creeps into our lives, especially as we age. I can't use that app. I can't travel anymore. I can't start something new now, not at my age. But let me ask you this, is it really true? Or is it a habit we've picked up, a soft way of excusing ourselves from the unknown? Take Evelyn, a 75-year-old retired librarian. For years, she told her friends, I can't do technology. She missed birthday video calls, avoided group chats, and relied on her landline to feel connected. Then one day, her granddaughter mailed her a handwritten guide titled, How to Zoom with Grandma. Evelyn laughed, gave it a try, and now she runs a virtual book club for women across 4 states. You see, can't isn't always about ability. More often, it's fear wrapped in certainty. A shield we use when something feels new, unfamiliar, or uncomfortable. But inside every can't is usually a hidden maybe, waiting for courage to let it bloom. So let's try something softer, more open. Instead of I can't, say, this is new for me, but I'm open to learning. Or I haven't done that yet, but I'm curious. These aren't just phrases, they're keys. They unlock possibility, they invite growth. Because truthfully, every single thing you can do today was once something you couldn't. You didn't know how until you did. So why stop now? The next time can't wants to speak for you, pause, breathe, and remind yourself you've surprised the world before. You can do it again. Number 5, should. There's a word many women carry like a silent burden, should. It hides in our daily thoughts, often dressed up as motivation, but underneath it whispers guilt, regret, and pressure. I should exercise more. I should call my kids. I should have saved more when I was younger. Sound familiar? For women like Margaret, now 72, should was a soundtrack that never stopped playing. As a mother, caregiver, and devoted wife, she spent decades doing what was expected, always trying to be everything to everyone. And even now in the peace of retirement, the shoulds followed her like shadows. What she should have done, should be doing, or should want. But here's the thing, should often has nothing to do with what we truly want. It's a word soaked in obligation, not intention. And when we use it, we rarely feel inspired. Instead, we feel like we've fallen short. What if you replaced should with I choose to or I want to? Try it. I want to move my body because it makes me feel alive. I choose to spend time with my family because it fills my heart. Feels lighter, doesn't it? And those old should-haves, let them go. They belong to a time that's past. You don't live there anymore. The present is yours. The future is unwritten, and you hold the pen. So the next time should comes knocking, pause. Ask yourself, do I want this? If the answer is yes, step forward with purpose. And if it's no, give yourself the grace to say so without apology. Your life now is not a list of obligations. It's a canvas of choices, and you get to choose what joy looks like from here. Number 6. Ugly. Few words are as heavy and unfair as ugly, and too often we direct it at ourselves without even realizing the damage it leaves behind. Take Helen, 76, who recently caught herself in the mirror whispering, "My face looks ugly today." She didn't say it with anger, just habit, a quiet, resigned voice she'd carried for decades, the kind of voice many women know all too well. "My wrinkles look ugly. My hair's ugly now. I hate how my body looks. It's just ugly." But let's pause right there, because those words, they aren't just casual, they're hurtful, and they're wrong. Every line on your face is a memory. Every silver strand is strength. Every curve, every scar, every change. They're not flaws. They are the language of a life richly lived, of laughter shared, battles faced, children raised, love given and lost and given again. Ugly has no place here. So what if instead you stood in front of that mirror and found one thing, just one, to honor? The sparkle in your eyes, the warmth of your smile, the kindness that softens your face even on hard days. Use words like real, radiant, natural, and worthy. Not as flattery, but as truth. And let's go even further. How we speak about ourselves teaches the world how to see us, and how we treat others too. If you've ever judged another woman's appearance in passing, try flipping the script. Compliment her instead. Watch how that one act of kindness changes the energy around you and within you. Because beauty isn't measured by smooth skin or youthful features. It's measured in confidence, grace, resilience, and in the quiet dignity of a woman who knows her worth. And that woman is you, always has been. Number 7. Lonely. Let's talk about a word that carries more weight than it lets on. Lonely. It sounds simple, even honest, but when spoken too often, it quietly builds walls around your heart. "I feel so lonely." It's something Mary, 78, used to say out loud during long afternoons in her apartment. After her husband passed and her children moved away, the silence grew louder. But what Mary didn't realize then was that loneliness wasn't just about being alone. It was about feeling unseen, unneeded, forgotten. And here's the gentle truth. The word lonely can become a belief. The more you say it, the more it settles in. And slowly it convinces you that connection isn't possible anymore. But it is. What if instead of saying, "I'm lonely," you said, "I'm open to new connection," or "I'm ready to share my time with others"? These small shifts don't deny your feelings, but they create space for hope. They remind your heart that something beautiful might still be just around the corner. Start by taking one step. Call an old friend. Say yes to that community center event. Join a class, a book club, a walking group, somewhere someone is waiting for a smile like yours. You don't need to fill a room to feel connected. One genuine conversation, one laugh shared over coffee, one moment of being seen for who you are. That's all it takes to light the spark again. And if you ever feel that word, lonely, begin to echo, replace it. Try hopeful, try curious, try willing. Because your presence matters, your stories matter, and there are hearts out there waiting to meet yours. You're not forgotten. You're still someone the world needs. Number 8, 2. Let's take a closer look at a quiet little word that carries more weight than it seems to. As in, too old, too tired, too late. You've probably said it before without even thinking, "I'm too old for that. It's too late to start. I'm too tired to try." But here's the truth. Every time you say too, you draw an invisible line between where you are and where you could go. Margaret, 74, used to say, "It's too late for me to learn anything new." But one afternoon, after watching her grandson build a website, she decided to take a beginner's computer class at her local library. 2 months later, she created her first email, sent photos to old friends, and even started journaling online. It wasn't too late at all. It was right on time. Too often makes us feel like the best has already passed. But as long as your heart is beating, you are not too late for anything meaningful. Life doesn't run on anyone else's clock. Your story continues for as long as you keep turning the pages. So when that old voice says, "I'm too old," try this instead. "I'm discovering new ways to grow." Instead of, it's too late, say, I'm starting now, and that's enough. And if you feel too tired, remind yourself, I can go at my own pace, and that's powerful. The word too tries to shrink your world, but your spirit, your curiosity, courage, and wisdom can stretch far beyond it. Let this chapter be about expansion, not limits. You haven't missed your chance. You're right on time for something beautiful. Number 9, can't complain. It sounds harmless, even gracious. I can't complain. We've all said it. Maybe when a neighbor asks how we're doing, or a friend checks in. It feels polite, modest, even strong. But if you take a moment to look deeper, you'll see something else hiding behind those two words. For women like Darlene, 73, this phrase became a reflex. Even when her arthritis flared up or she felt emotionally drained, she'd smile and say, I can't complain. Why? Because she didn't want to seem like a burden? Because she felt others had it worse? Because it was easier than explaining the ache that words can't always capture? But here's the quiet truth. I can't complain can become a mask. It keeps your real feelings tucked away and denies others the opportunity to understand or support you. It closes doors that could lead to connection, comfort, and maybe even healing. You don't have to spill everything, but honesty can be gentle and freeing. Try saying, I'm doing okay, but I've had a few rough days, or I'm grateful, but I've also been carrying some worries. These responses don't sound like complaints. They sound like life, and life is never just one note. And it's not only pain we hide. Sometimes can't complain is used to downplay joy. We worry we'll sound boastful or lucky in a way that makes others uncomfortable. But you deserve to say, I'm actually feeling really thankful today, or things have been going well and I'm enjoying it. Let's retire can't complain. Replace it with truth, tender, honest, human, because your voice matters in every shade of joy and struggle. And when you speak from the heart, you invite others to do the same. Number 10, I used to be. There's a phrase that slips into our conversations like a sigh from the past. I used to be. And while it often comes from a place of nostalgia, it can quietly plant a seed of comparison that steals joy from the present moment. Eleanor, 75, used to say it often. I used to be so energetic, she'd laugh. Or I used to be the one everyone called for advice. Harmless? Maybe. But over time, those words started to sting, reminding her of everything she thought she'd left behind. Until one day a friend gently said, but look at who you are now. Don't you see her too? Because that's the part we miss. I used to be creates a gap, a distance between who you were and who you think you are now. It can make the present feel like a faded version of a former life. But life isn't about staying the same. It's about becoming. You are not less. You are more seasoned, more discerning, more rooted in what matters. So instead of, I used to be fit, try, I move in ways that support me now. Instead of, I used to have patience for everything, say, I've learned to protect my peace. Instead of, I used to have so much energy, try, I invest my energy where it truly counts. Each season brings its own beauty, and who you are today is no less worthy of admiration than any past version. You've lived, learned, and loved your way into a woman who deserves celebration, not comparison. So honor the used to be, but don't live there. You're still becoming. And this version of you, she's powerful in ways younger you never even dreamed. Number 11, it's always been this way. It's always been this way. It sounds so reasonable, doesn't it? Familiar, comfortable. But underneath that comfort is something else. Resignation. Barbara, 77, used to say it often. I've always cooked this way. We've always handled things like this in our family. I've always managed my own problems. It wasn't that she was unhappy. It's just that change felt unnecessary, maybe even too late. But deep down, a part of her wondered, what if there's more? The truth is, that phrase, it's always been this way, can quietly rob you of possibility. It can keep you rooted in patterns that no longer serve the woman you are today. Yes, habits can bring comfort, but they can also keep you from stepping into something new, something better. Maybe you've always dealt with your health reactively. What if now is the time to be proactive? To try gentle yoga, update your nutrition, or seek a fresh perspective from a different doctor? Maybe you've always faced things alone. But what if letting someone in, accepting support, is the boldest thing you could do? And maybe a family pattern that's long felt strained could shift, not with a confrontation, but with a new tone, a new way of showing up. Letting go of "it's always been this way" doesn't erase the past. It honors it while making space for more, for growth, for delight, for the quiet surprises that come when we dare to wonder, what if things could be different? You've already proven your strength. Now's the time to prove your openness, because the most beautiful chapter of your life might not be one you've already lived. It might be the one you choose to write next. Number 12. I'm fine. It's almost automatic, isn't it? Someone asks, "How are you?" And without a second thought, you reply, "I'm fine." Mary, 72, had said those two words so often they became her armor. She'd smile politely at neighbors, nod on phone calls with her children, and carry on with her day. But inside, she was carrying grief, fatigue, loneliness. And no one knew, because "I'm fine" kept them at arm's length. That phrase, while convenient, often hides what's real. It protects us from feeling vulnerable, but it also shuts the door on connection. It tells others we're okay, even when we're quietly struggling, and in doing so, it can make us feel even more alone. But here's the truth: you don't have to carry it all in silence. The next time someone asks how you're doing, consider softening your response. Just a little. You might say, "I'm doing okay, but today's been tough," or "I'm managing, but I've had a lot on my heart lately." These small shifts don't turn you into a burden. They open a window for support, for warmth, for someone to say, "Tell me more." And it works the other way too. If you're feeling joyful, say so. Replace "I'm fine" with "Actually, I'm feeling really good today," or "I'm grateful. It's been a beautiful morning." Your joy deserves to be seen, not tucked away out of modesty. So let's retire "I'm fine" as the default. Let honesty, gentle, heartfelt honesty, take its place. Because the real you, in all your layers and seasons, is worth being seen. And when you let people in, that's when the true beauty of connection begins. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope these reflections gave you a moment to pause, and perhaps the courage to speak to yourself with more kindness and strength. The words we use each day matter more than we realize, and choosing them with intention can truly transform the way we feel, connect, and grow. If today's message spoke to you, take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss the next conversation. We have so much more to explore together. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Just share your thoughts with a simple "letting go" if something in this video resonated with you. You are not defined by age or habit. Every day is a fresh chance to speak with clarity, compassion, and power. Keep showing up, keep growing, and above all, stay true to the woman you are becoming. See you in the next video.